In a world where technology has become the ultimate arbiter of human destiny, society is divided into two factions: those who embrace the system and those who reject it. Those who support the system are known as the insiders, while their opponents are called the outsiders. The government, known as the Council of Administration, oversees every aspect of life in this dystopian society. They have created a system that controls every aspect of human behavior from birth to death, including education, career, and even personal relationships. The system is believed to be foolproof, with zero margin for error. No decision is left to chance, and no deviation from the norm is tolerated. The process begins at birth, where children are subjected to a series of exams and tests to determine their innate abilities and aptitude. The results are fed into the system, which assigns them to a predetermined career path. The system also pairs individuals for marriage based on a complex algorithm that takes into account a range of factors such as social status, genetic compatibility, and psychological suitability. There is no room for deviation from this system, and those who dare challenge it risk punishment. This is the world that Sarah finds herself in. A member of the outsider faction, she has always questioned the system and longed for a life beyond the rigid confines of society. She has always been aware of the surveillance cameras that are everywhere, watching and recording her every move. The Council of Administration has eyes on everything because they believe that eliminating privacy removes the possibility of any wrongdoing. Sarah's rebellion began when she was assigned to a career she doesn't want. The system determined that she was best suited for a life in law enforcement. Sarah despises the police force and everything it stands for, but the system's decision is final. When her partner was assigned, she quickly discovered that she was genetically incompatible with him. Although their psychological compatibility was good, Sarah strongly disagreed with the system's decision and rejected her partner. This was her first defiance towards the system's rules. The rejection of her assigned partner was a sign, a signal that something was wrong with the system. Sarah's suspicions were proven true when she intercepted an encrypted message while on patrol. It was a message from a fellow outsider, warning that the government had been experimenting with a new technology designed to control human behavior. The technology, if not kept in check, would lead to the end of human free will. Sarah shared the message with her group, and together they began to stage small protests and sabotage the government's plans at every turn. The government's response was swift and brutal. They dispatched an army of drones and robots to crush the rebellion. The protesters were mowed down in droves, and Sarah watched in horror as her fellow outsiders were slaughtered in cold blood. But the rebellion didn't die. It only fragmented and spread underground. The government, desperate to stamp out any resistance, deployed an experimental system designed to suppress human free will. The system, known as the Mind Control Protocol, was designed to embed subliminal messages in the population, guiding their thoughts and actions towards the government's goals. The protocol was initiated, and Sarah watched in terror as the people around her began to change. The well-planned protests that her group conducted became disorganized and random. People were acting weirdly or on autopilot. The subliminal messaging was working, and those who were rebelling could see it. Sarah and her group decided to fight back. They understood that the only way to defeat the system was to disrupt the signal that was controlling the population. But finding the source of the signal was proving to be almost impossible. As they searched, their protest movement grew and became more daring, damaging equipment and hacking the government network. But in the end, they knew they had to find and destroy the transmitter. Finally, they succeeded. They discovered the location of the transmitter and infiltrated it. They hacked its system and destroyed it before returning to their underground base. The people were free, and the government's control reduced. Individuals again had the autonomy to make their choices, to build their lives in the way they wanted. Sarah and her group knew that the government would never stop trying to regain control of society, that they would continue to build and test their technology to control the population. But they also knew that people who are free are difficult to control. For now, they had saved humanity's future,